Hey, all you rebels out there. Welcome to another episode of Crack Dice Gaming. With you, you have old Captain Shikaka here. And with me, I have.
Frank and Chewy. What's up, brother?
Hey, what's up, brother?
What's up,
Hey, we're
brother?
going to be doing some deck tech for you today. Another deck tech video. I think you guys really appreciated our last one on Han. So we're going to be talking Chewy today. Chewy's been making a little bit of a splash in the meta. He finished the top 8 in Poland. And so we're going to see what he could do for us. And so we put a little bit of a twist on the Chewy deck, a non-traditional deck, a little different than the old Pola deck. We're still going green Chewy, but instead of the traditional cards that would play in Chewy, we kind of thought, what when you think about Chewy, what do you think of? Like, he's a blue hero, right? And so what are the best cards in blue hero? Of course, mitigation is always really positive, really powerful amongst blue. But the other big blue is upgrades. Blue seems to have the most upgrades as far as heroes go, and blue hero especially has a lot of upgrades. So we thought, let's see if we could do an upgrade deck for you and see how that works out. So hey, hold on to your seats and let's take a look at the old deck for Chewy. This is called Juggernaut Chewy.
Oh
Juggernaut
yeah.
Chewy. Our whole goal is to get Chewy as big and bad as possible when he deploys.
Yep.
Hey,
Uh,
so for turn one play, we're looking at grab the gov. Grab the gov is the turn one play for you that you're looking to grab.
yep.
You're looking at actually grabbing a governor. You want that regional governor turn one, and depending on who you're playing, like if you're playing against a Boba Fett deck, you're going to be going for the overlay. That's automatic. We're playing a lot of upgrades, and we don't want to get our guys waylaid. So you're going to try to
Nope.
use governor to get rid of the waylays. Another great card I would say is Overwhelming Barrage if you're going especially against a Boba Fett, or
Just say Boba
as
Fett. Yeah.
any other thoughts on that?
Not really. You really want to say Waylay though, because you're playing a very upgrade heavy deck. So if they pop a Waylay out, or you're kind of screwed.
Yeah,
Um. Also
yeah,
also your other turn one play really good turn one play too is Guardian of the Wills into Resilient. You can put 3 resilience in the deck if you want. I think we only had 2 listed on here just to get down to 50 cards. But you could play 51 cards, pop in a third resilient, be able to get that turn one playoffs really good. Um,
yeah.
yeah,
The other big one is that Battlefield Marine. If you can get that out, or even
yep,
C3PO, or any of those 2 cost cards, if you can drop one of those. But if you can, you really want to try to get that regional governor. That's kind of the card you're really looking for. But Battle Marine isn't bad, and Guardian Will is not bad either because you're playing a lot of upgrades. So getting that out and being to get those upgrades a little cheaper, not a bad idea either.
yep. All right, moving
So
on.
then,
Turn 2.
wanted to, yeah, we call this
Upgrades,
upgrade people.
upgrades,
Yeah,
people,
you can go ahead.
upgrades. Yeah, it's an old reference to the old robots movie. It's pretty awesome. Uh,
You guys remember that?
oh yeah, it's an old movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of what are we doing here, Coach? What are we doing on this turn?
So yeah, so we're so like this deck, it's all about the upgrades, right? So we're trying to get upgrades out. So our real hope is every turn is we're going to get upgrades out, so we can just keep smashing down their characters, especially against the Sabine decks and the Boba Fett decks. They're trying to spam out as many troops units as they can. So we're trying to smash them down, put our upgrades on, get big health on guys, and so we can keep smacking down their units as they deploy them. So
Yep.
we're getting out upgrades, we want like the resilience out, so we got that extra boost in health, and we can crash into some guys on it. The devotion's not a bad card. Seems like it's not played as much, but that 2 health gain on your base is not a bad deal, and it's a 1/1, so it does give you a little more buff.
Yep.
Especially if you're playing a 3 character, a 3 health character, it brings you up to 4, so you got that break point, which is always nice. The electrostrap is awesome against defense, especially when you can Chewy into that Chewy ability, make it a sentinel, so they gotta attack it, and it gives them -1 if they attack into that electrostaff, so that really helps out. Entrenched is always great if you can ever get that out. An awesome card. So we're talking like if you can get like the Guardian of Wills with an entrenched, great, great, great. Just you want to keep that Guardian of Wills out as long as you can to keep those upgrades cheaper. The Wilderness Fighter. I know this is a very controversial card, right, Crankin? You hate
It's
this card.
so trash. It's such a bad card. Like, it's so
So
bad. It's
this is
just
why I put this
terrible.
in the deck. Why we put this in the
He
deck.
put it in the deck
It,
just to spite me. It's such a trash
no, no,
card. If I
no.
was playing this deck, ain't no way am I putting it Wilderness Fighter. But it's not my deck.
So,
It's Coach's
so,
deck.
so it only does 2 damage,
It's
which isn't
so
great.
trash.
Below par, but it gets the shield, which is great, and it's got 4 health. So it's kind of doing what you want. And what you're doing in this deck is you're trying to keep those small units alive with some big upgrades so they can smash back. So the 4 health really helps. That shield certainly helps. And when you can give it a sentinel, they've got to hit it at least 3 times. For most characters that only doing
Or
3
two.
damage or 2 damage,
Or 2 damage.
you're having to hit that. You're gonna have to hit that 2 or 3 or 4 times to kill that thing.
4?
So
Where are
it's
you getting 4 from?
swinging for 2 damage. You got to hit it at least 4 times to kill it.
No.
Got to hit the
You
shield
gotta,
up.
you gotta hit it 3 times, coach. Come on.
Well,
Only
yeah,
4.
3 times. Still, yeah. But I mean, if it's got like an upgrade or something like that, you could hit it for 4 or 5. Anyway,
It's such a
also
bad
the old Homestead Militia is not bad, and I always loved Yoda. Yoda's a great card. He does some healing for you. You can get that Yoda out. It's not a bad deal, especially if you can get an upgrade on him, like an entrenched or something, so you can stay alive and keep healing up your base. You keep smacking down some troops. The entrenched is great because it'll give him the +3 bonus, which he can actually do some damage to that and help you kind of stay alive, kill off some troops, and if he dies, you get to draw a card, which is always nice.
Yep.
I don't think that ever. I can't imagine ever. There must be a time where there's going to be a negative effect to having your
drawing a
opponent
card.
draw a card.
Maybe.
I don't
know.
see. Yeah,
I think it's more for Twin Sons, maybe. Like you get, as like a bartering tool kind of way. Would be my guess.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. All right. Moving
Also,
on.
then on into turn 3.
Yep.
This one's
Slicing and
slicing
dicing.
and dicing. Slicing and dicing.
Oh yeah.
Hey, so we're gonna do some slicing and dicing by turn 3. So we're hoping to have at least a couple of units out, so we can put some units upgrades on it. So by turn 3, we should be putting upgrades, or we should already have some upgrades on some units. That's the hope that you'd
Yep.
have like at least maybe an trench, and you're already doing some slicing and dicing. But by turn 3, you're really smacking some stuff. So your best play in turn 3 is you're hoping for like a battlefield marine into like an electro staff or an entrenched or even a devotion. I mean, ideally, the battle. So ideally, you're going to hit that battlefield marine. You're going to give it sentinel, and then you can drop that electro staff. And if you can keep that thing alive, so you can get that electro staff on, it can really do some damage. Again, it's given that -1 to the attack if somebody tries to attack it, and then you can smack the base, or you can smack. I mean, that electro staff is great because if you really start smacking the base, you're smacking for 5 every round. That really starts adding up. And if you can't get those out, a great alternative is even Caden. Caden can really do a lot of stuff. Caden, I think he's kind of an underrated character, to be quite honest. But
He's okay.
discarding a card, that discard can really, like you discard an overwhelming barrage, you discard a waylay. Sometimes that discard is exactly what you need to even really push the game forward. And then
Yep.
Bright Hope is always a great play. So again, we don't have a lot of ships, so sometimes that Bright Hope with the 6 health and just be able to take some damage off those ships, because really what we're trying to do is stay alive until we can get Chewy out. Once we get Chewy out, then the tables turn. So you might get a little down in health. You might get up to like 15 or even close to 20 damage on your base before you get Chewy out. And if we can keep that base alive, so Chewy can come out, then he'll really start. Then it really changes the name of this game.
Yep. All right.
The thoughts there?
Not really. It's fairly standard here. If you don't have anything to play, you can always double drop upgrades. I mean, obviously, if you can give Battlefield Marine Sentinel and then pop Electro Staff on something else too, even, just to get the extra 2 damage in, onto base or something like that. So you don't always necessarily have to play the upgrade on Battlefield Marine, but you can play it on one of your other dudes. Like especially if you got like Devotion or something, pop Devotion down on another guy, and then heal 2 from your base, get you that restore kind of going. So, yeah. All right, moving on. Turn 4. What you got for us,
Turn 4.
Coach?
So we're always looking at trying to get that 3 drop out and giving it Sentinel, or a 2 drop out and getting it Sentinel with Chewy. That's kind of the big thing with Chewy, is trying to get that Sentinel guy out to kind of take some damage. Really, you're trying to just take their turns away. So what we're trying to do is stop them from hitting our base, especially like the Boba Fett decks and Sabine decks and that kind of way. We're trying to keep them from hitting our base. So even if they have to attack twice into one of our Sentinel characters, which is awesome, that just really benefits us because we're trying to get to that Chewy round and get that Juggernaut Chewy out, right? So we're playing like maybe an Admiral Akbar pinging a shield off of one of their guys, so they can't just smack us for free. They got to take some damage back, or even playing the Echo-based Defender, which is great. It's got already got Sentinel built in, so you can play that and give maybe another. Like you could play that and also give Akbar Sentinel, so you can have a double Sentinel out because sometimes they get rid of one and they still have to try to go into that second one. And giving them some things, giving them the entrenched or the electro staff or any of that kind of stuff
Oh, what you
is
do now?
excellent.
Oh, coach, come on, come on. Saw that one on
You can
the.
do any of that.
Saw that one.
If you can do any of that kind of stuff, or even the Guardian of Wills is great. If you can get we're talking 6 resources at this point, so you can get like 2 like a Guardian of Wills with Electro Staff, or maybe the Devotion, any of that kind of way is really great. Any of those kind of plays. I like the Wilderness Fighter. Getting that guy out with one of these big upgrades, I think can really do a lot of damage. He's going to be able to take a lot of hits, and he can swing back. And take out maybe a big character. If he's got like the Electro Staff, he's swinging for 4. If he's got even the Entrenched, even better. That's really the ideal. What you want to get on that guy is the Entrenched with something else potentially, but Entrenched he's swinging for 5. That does a lot of damage. That kills most characters unless they're spending upwards around 6 or 7 resources on that thing. So anyway, that's kind of what you're looking at for turn 6 or turn 4 with 6 resources rather.
Yep.
Any other thoughts?
Well, no, you're only at 5 resources right now. So only 5 resources. Oh, Coach peeked there a little bit. No, only 5 resources. So basically, yeah, you're really just wanting to get like your Echo Base Defenders, something like that, plus another 2-drop or an upgrade. Getting basically it's called combination just because you're wanting to combo up to 5 resources. That's pretty much why.
Yeah.
Yeah. So pop an Entrenched, pop a Yoda, pop a Homestead Militia, any one of those guys. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And the 3 and the 2 drop for you, but you're definitely trying to get some something on a guy. You get an upgrade on a guy again. That's what we're trying to do in this deck, and try to get if you are playing against a Boba Fett though, and he's got or any deck that could potentially have Waylay in it, and you don't have the regional governor out yet, and you can't stop that Waylay, you're going to try to spread out those upgrades as much as possible. If not, if there's no Waylays, you can definitely go for trying to place as many upgrades on a character and just make a Juggernaut, a mini Juggernaut.
Yep.
And just smacking guys down with it. It really does work.
Yep.
So then we're going to be 5. We're going to be dropping a triple.
Yep. Keep this one. Keeping it short and sweet here.
So we're looking at 3 drops in this one. So two 3 drops, or we can a Kanan or a Bright Hope, and then a 2-cost upgrade. So whatever you can find there, like the Bright Hope and an Entrenched is great because again we're just trying to block that space arena up. We're not really trying to do a lot of damage in that. We're just trying to block it up so they can't do damage to our base. And then that Kanan, if you can get Electro Staff on him or something like that, he can really do some great damage. And again, he's discarding those cards, healing your base, all kinds of good stuff he can do.
Oh yeah. Also, remember folks out there, you can play upgrades on your Bright Hope to make sure it stays alive a little longer. Just as a little helpful tip there, You can drop. I think you can drop Entrenched. I think you can drop Devotion. I think you can too. Resilient.
Yeah.
You drop a lot of your upgrades on your Bright Hope. Make sure it stays alive.
Yeah.
Keep that Space Sentinel out there.
Yeah, it's got that 6 break point, and if you can get it to 7 with like even like a Devotion, I mean that's a great another great break point where they have to hit that thing twice, oftentimes or sometimes 3 times depending on what they're looking at. So anyway, again, if you can get some of those like Franken said, if you can get some of those upgrades on it, more is better. That's what we're really looking for.
Oh, yeah.
And if you can get that out, like you already have it out there, you definitely want to put an upgrade on it this round. Oh, yeah. For sure.
Yep.
Just to keep it alive.
Turn
6.
Turn 6. Big turn.
What's this one?
Emperor Luke.
Yeah, Emperor, right?
Yeah.
Luke. Okay. So any number of units or upgrades to hit 7. So basically, if you've got that Luke Skywalker in your hand, you're dropping that. You're just doing some damage. You're able to, hopefully, if you got that one upgrade and you can, they're going to kill one of your smaller upgrades that doesn't have one of your units that doesn't have a lot of upgrades on it. And then you can throw that Luke out at a -6. That's ideal, right?
Yep.
And so, try to hold back on that Luke a little bit to see if they're going to do something with it, to see if they're going to kill one of your guys off, especially if you got one of your Sentinels, like you got your, You get your echo-based defender or something out, and they've got to kill it off anyway. So holding off on that Luke a little bit is worth it. And that's one of the great things about the Chewy deck is he's got a lot of Sentinels out, right? And so you can really kind of hold back on that Luke and then throw it out after they've killed one and get that -6, -6. Either take out one of their big ships or take out one of their big units, and that's kind of what you're looking at for two Luke. And then Luke himself, of course, has his restore 3, which is great. So if you can keep him alive till the next round, man, he's going to be starting to heal that base up. And so this is where we really kind of turn the tides, right? We get the Luke out, we get one of a couple of maybe devotion or something like that, a couple of upgrades, a couple of things that start healing our base back. The Admiral Akbar, and that kind of way we can start bringing our base back. And it's amazing how quick you can bring those bases back when you've got these
Oh
kind
yeah.
of units out.
Yeah. Yeah. Chewy also deploys this turn too, so if you don't get a Luke, you can also pop some upgrades on Chewbacca, get him rolling. So yeah,
Absolutely.
that's your turn 6 there. All right, moving on. Turn 7.
Yeah.
Or round 7, whatever you want to
So
call
turn
it.
7.
Chewy, we're
So
home.
turn 7. So yeah, Chewy, we're home. And so you're definitely going to be playing home one on this turn. So last turn, you're getting Chewy out. Definitely put some upgrades on Chewy if you can. Keep Chewy alive. Again, this we're trying to do that Chewy Juggernaut last turn, and so get as many. And so turn 7 is either going to be dropping the home one if you got it in your hand. If not, you're trying to throw more upgrades onto Chewy. Try to keep him as alive as long, get him as big as possible. Because again, with that grit, he can get really, really big. They can't waylay him. They can't traitorous him. They can't do anything like that. He's just going to stay on the board. They got to kill him. And so in order to kill him, they've got to do a lot of damage. And if you can get a lot of upgrades on him, boy, he's going to be out and he's going to be huge and he's going to be doing a lot of damage. So the big question is, do you put the entrenched on him, right? And you got to kind of look. Sometimes I'll wait and I'll put that entrenched on him a little after if he's got a lot of health, so he can do his damage to the base possibly. Sometimes you can get 10 or 13 or 14 damage to a base. I mean, that's a huge swing for Chewy, right? And then you can throw the entrenched on them and just let them pound away on Chewy while you're still smashing the base with the smaller characters. So anyway, that's kind of 7. Any other thoughts there, Crank and Chewy?
Nope, not really. Really just getting, if you got a two threes or 4 costs and 2 2s, essentially just anything that can combo up to 8. And I mean, if you have to combo to 7, that's fine too. I mean, dropping the resources isn't the end of the world. But if you got home one, that's your ideal play. You're gonna want to probably go fish out your Akbar or Yoda. Both of those guys are really great for this. Akbar's great because you can then pop a unit usually. Do some damage out to it, things like that. So, yeah. Bench warmers. So we got some bench warmers here for you guys. They're a little blurry, but because I gotta expand the picture because it won't only will go so far. But so confiscate. So now this one, coach. It's just what are we doing here? Come on, man. It's so trash.
So here's the thing: if you're playing somebody with a traitorous deck, traitorous can really hurt your deck immensely. Obviously, if you get if you get a mini Juggernaut out, you get a guy with 2 or 3 upgrades out, a unit, and they play a traitorous. It's a 3-cost unit. They play traitorous on you. For a confiscate, for 1 cost, you can bring that guy right back. So they're spending 5 on the traitorous, and then for 1, so that's a great trade. I mean, if that's your ideal. You're hoping that they don't think you have confiscates in the deck. And when that happens and they blow 5 resources to bring your mini Juggernaut over to their side, and before they even can use it, you slap that confiscate down and get rid of their traitorous and bring it right back. Man, it's pretty much a game winner right there. Honestly, that's a huge loss to them. Massive win for you. You still have 4 resources sitting there to do something else with. Put a couple more upgrades on that guy and start swinging away. So anyway, I try to, if you can, once you start getting towards 5, you want to keep those confiscates in your hand. If they got traders in the deck, so if you're going to the second game and you notice they have the traders as the deck, you're going to put that confiscate in just to make sure your guys are not going to get pulled away. And if they do, again, they won't even see it coming. Oftentimes, they didn't see it coming the first game. They're probably thinking you don't have it. You put those confiscates in, boom. All of a sudden, they're going to think I'm going to steal that guy again. Your mini Juggernaut, and well, hey, good luck, right?
Yep.
And then the next card is obviously in the sideboard going to be traitorous, so we're going to play them ourselves. So again, a great trade-off as they traitorous you traitorous right back. So they spend 5, they get nothing. You spend 5, you get your guy right back. So I mean, it's kind of a wash in some ways, but you at least end up with a guy, and so you still have a mini Juggernaut, in your in your pool there, so you can still swing away with your mini juggernauts. But boy, to lose it and just not have it anymore really stinks. So man, that traders can come really handy. Also, the great thing is when they're playing a lot of ships, you can steal a lot of their ships. We don't have a lot of ships, so even taking a ship or two, especially if they're playing some of those ships that do the healing, restore, some of those ships can be really powerful, right? Or if they just have a lot of damage on them, or like if you're playing against Sabine, boy, that's really great. If you can throw that traders out, grab one of those ships that they've got a couple of upgrades on, a couple of experience tokens on that's swinging for 5 or 6 damage or something like that, and pull that to your side because she's not playing traders, right? And then you've got a nice ship for, hey, very little cost.
Yep. Yep. You got redemptions and reinforcement walkers too. This is basically just your heal cards. Uh,
Yeah.
I mean, redemption's just kind of a knockoff. Home one essentially. Reinforcement walker
Yeah.
is basically a knockoff home one too. So also, if you're looking to make it cheaper as well, you can also just throw in redemptions, or I think is redemption legendary. I don't remember. Or is it rare? I think it's rare.
I'm pretty sure it's rare.
I think it's rare, but if it's not, I'm pretty sure it's cheaper than home one. So but yeah, if you're looking
Oh,
to
it's
make
absolutely.
the deck a little cheaper, you can obviously just throw in a reinforcement walker. It's like 5 cents. It's like a 5 cent card. It's fantastic. Gets you that 3 damage. You also get to look at cards. So kind of, it's like a pseudo kind of home one a little bit. Not exactly, but yeah. Also, you don't have to play. I mean, Luke is a great card to play, but you don't necessarily have to play it if you don't want to. You can find some more budget friendly options with that. We will also post here somewhere. Let's see, over here in a second. You'll see the cost breakdown for the deck with and without legendaries, so you can figure out how much you want to spend on the deck and all that kind of way. So yeah, any final
I've been,
thoughts,
play-
Coach?
I've been playing this deck without Luke. I don't have Luke's, and so he's a very expensive card. I'm not willing to pay right now what they're asking for Luke's. I mean, everything's gone up, right? It's going crazy. And
Yep.
so I think one of the things that is great about this deck is because it's really focused more on the upgrades and not so much the characters themselves. You can really, the upgrades are really cheap right now.
Oh yeah.
Nobody's really playing upgrades,
Oh,
so
ain't
you can get
nobody
those really
playing.
cheap. Yep, and so you can grab those upgrades pretty cheap. I would probably look at more like the replacement walker for a Luke, or another very budget friendly card is the Rogue Squadron Skirmisher. Uh, Kind of does a little bit Lukish kind of stuff. It costs one less, which is nice. It's still 4/6, which is nice. It's got the ambush keyword, so whereas Luke is killing a guy, the skirmisher is still killing a guy with the ambush. And the nice thing is you can return a unit that costs 2 or less from your discard pile to your hand. So again, it's playing into that Chewy ability. So you can grab one of those cards and potentially,
Yep.
play next round or something like that. Or if you can somehow get another resource or something, you can.
Mm-hmm.
One of the things that's traders too, and it's not a bad idea to do, is if they play the super laser tech around turn 5, I would grab that if you got a traitorous, and if you can grab that and put it back, just to get that Chewbacca out one round earlier. So if you're playing against some of those villain green decks and they're trying to cheat up to some higher costs, you're trading 2 resources for a super laser tech and doing a little damage. So I think that's a good trade,
Yep.
honestly. Anyway, so there's the deck. I hope you like it. Hey, if you're looking at trying something new, you like Chewy, and you're like, hey man, I want to try something that nobody else is trying. I want to see if I can catch people off guard at my local, and you just want to try a fun deck. And we'll see how competitive it is. It seems to be doing pretty good. It can compete against Sabine decks and the Boba Fett decks. It probably is more like a 40-60 win rate against Boba Fett and about a fifty
Eh,
fifty against Sabine. Does
maybe
good into
maybe
Sabine.
it might be 70-30 against Baba. It
I
was
don't know. We'll see.
25-75 against Baba. 20. Yeah.
A lot of it depends if you can get that. If you get your regional governors out and you can stop those slave ones from coming out, I think you can do pretty good against Baba. Sabine, you do a little bit better into because she's so dependent on these small little budget characters. And if you can really get those upgrades out, you can really smash them down pretty quick. So
Yep.
anyway, this is a great deck, a lot of fun to play. I really encourage you to play it, and if you do play it, please comment below and tell us how you like it and how it did for you.
Oh yeah. Thank you, brother. We will.
And don't forget, I was gonna say, hey, don't
I.
forget to
Oh.
subscribe
Oh,
and
coach.
and and yeah,
Make sure to
keep
keep the
your
blaster
blaster
in your holster.
in the holster. All right, what's up, brother?